Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to EPIC44 with Intel. I am Bollard, and this time I am joined by Hart
Yeah, it
once
feels
again.
like a rarity that we get to cast.
I know, we've only
sometimes.
done one game before, I think,
Yeah,
at this
that's
LAN, which
right.
is crazy. But yeah, we're back with more Starcraft 2 action here on Epic LAN 3. Big shout out to all of our sponsors, as well as Intel, of course, Republic of Gamers, and also Overclockers, especially,
Yep.
for sponsoring the show. But yeah, we're going to bring you the next in the last of the two upper semi-finals. And
Yes,
this one is
we
going to
just
be...
got done with Raza Gerald,
Yes,
which I watched behind Raza's shoulder.
yes.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
last
see
game,
the 3 racks coming?
that's a Raza classic.
I know.
So I kind of
I
envisioned it.
I said to EXO, we're definitely getting a 3 racks this
yeah,
series.
whiffing
Lo
that
and
force
behold,
field is that's crazy business.
I thought he was going to get the business. I thought Razzle was going to
Yeah.
get the business done when that force field was off by 1 and then the Ascend Free was out of energy. I was like, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, guys. Something might be happening here. But yeah, we're going to be seeing something a little bit different this time. We're going to be seeing FIGARO versus Zain in the other upper semi-final. A PVZ. Lots of Protoss, as we've been saying, throughout the whole event. And we're going to watch another one here, but this time against Zerg. I think in this series, it's going to be a lot closer. A lot closer than the last series. I expect to see at least 4 games, maybe even all 5.
Okay.
I think, you know, Zane's really been grinding. I think there's a chance he could take this one. So
He
I know
says
he
he
wants to
hasn't.
win.
He says he hasn't played any.
He always says that.
Fig says he hasn't played any. I think
Maybe he's not been laddering, but he's definitely been
I asked them
brewing.
both,
He's been
and
brewing.
Zane says 50-50.
Yep.
His exact words, 50-50.
Well,
Fig
so 3-2 then.
says, yeah. Fig says, yeah, we can't actually be 50-50, right? That would be 2-2,
No,
and then
we'd
we'd
have
be
to all
like,
go
it's
home.
a draw. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no more StarCraft today.
Fig says he thinks he's slightly favoured. I actually think Zane's slightly favoured.
I take Fig.
Really?
Historically.
But you did seed him higher.
Yeah.
So he's still seed 2, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Zane said he's been beating Fig recently, I think.
He just beat him on ladder, yeah.
Yeah.
He just said. So, yeah, we'll see. AC took a game off Fig.
Really?
So, and maybe 2. It looked close.
But Molten took a
But
game off Zayn, and those were both mirror matchups, so it's a very different situation
Yeah,
than in a PvZ.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Fig is getting coffee, which is a bold
Apparently.
choice when you're about to play a match.
Apparently.
I feel like the coffee's just going to go cold by the time you can drink
Just like
it.
sipping it, like micro in one hand, sipping it. Yeah.
If he's that confident that he can drink his coffee whilst playing a pretty high-level game of StarCraft, he says sorry in the chat.
He's gonna get one of those helmets with like the curly straws.
The kind of
and the
American
2
ones
beer
where you got like
things.
two
Yeah.
two beer holders and the straws into your mouth. I mean, that would be pretty good. I think StarCraft players should invest in that more often. You
It's
know,
good
they got to
tech.
stay hydrated
It's
while you
good
game.
tech. Like a nice curly straw is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it
Okay.
looks like the players are finally ready and ready to get into the first map.
We stalled a little bit, but Indy says, I'm always ready, no worries. That's my goat.
Big up, Indy.
So we're hopping into King's Cove on game number 1. King's Cove is an old map. It came back.
Oh,
So
okay.
you might remember it.
I might,
You might have
yeah.
like flashes of deja vu, like
Looks like a Hana.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's the same tile set, I guess.
And Hana means family. All right, let's get into the map. Starting up here in the top left-hand corner, representing Team StarCraft Improve in the purple trunks, he is Figaro.
And spawning in the bottom right, playing
That's not where he
green
is. There he is.
for
Himself.
I don't know, is he on the red dragon?
No.
He's kind of
Plays for Clan Zain.
Plays for no one but himself. It's Zain. So yeah, King's Cove is a like a back in the map pool map. It's a bit interesting. Like it's kind of wide here, but obviously like this way is kind of a long way. You have to run all the way around here, and then this kind of whole corner of the map is actually pretty easy to get 3 base. So like Protoss can wall here with just a few gates, and like then the third is really safe. This is quite a tight choke. You can do this with, I think, with 2 buildings, like here, and then this is walled. So like getting your first 3 set up is really easy. Then it gets much harder. Like this north base is so open and like sight blocked from the rest of your like stuff down here. This is like the most open base maybe ever. So like this one is really hard.
Yeah, look at all that space on the left. It's mad.
So most people expand here, where it's like, you know, this is all blocked, so you can kind of like wall here and then defend here, you know, and hold this area. But this is, you know, your 4th base. But it's definitely harder then to expand from this position. So like your 3 bases are free, your 4th base is rough, and then after that it gets really difficult. It's much easier for the Zerg. Like the Zerg can actually take this pretty well, because obviously the creep will be like up here. So then you can kind of you can get to it and defend it quite easily. Though it's also quite exposed. I think in general, People think it's a pretty fair map. It's a pretty even map.
Well, if it's come back, that's a good sign, right?
Hates it.
You wouldn't bring back a map that people hated.
You've completely jinxed it, and they absolutely will bring back like the most hated map ever for the next pool. We're gonna get like Metalopolis or something in the next pool.
Plateau,
yeah, it's
tutorial edition or whatever it is.
Zelnaga Caverns, remember that one?
Yeah, some absolute bangs. I love Metalopolis. What a terrible map. Anyway, let's move on.
I didn't notice actually it was 15 or standard, 15-15 or standard opening for Figaro. He has been playing a lot of 15-15, so I expect it was that. But again, I didn't look, so my bad. Zain doing like the probe scout, which is completely normal. You kind of have to do it to make sure that you don't die to random 12 pools. But apart from that, not much going on. Did a little bit of mineral harass and like try to make the drones bounce, which is just annoying, but not super impactful.
Yeah, Zain likes that. We see the Stargate coming down now as his first tech choice in this match. And the Adept's going to get out on the map, do some shading around, maybe do some poking, see what he can see.
This feels like really weird pathing, right? Where it goes like straight up. And then
is that the default if you just rally straight to your opponent's base? Yeah, it must be, right?
I thought it would go through the middle, like through.
No, that's definitely longer. Yeah.
But I think it's because he's clicked over here instead of over here.
He did a non-central.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's why. He did the same with the probe, I noticed. It's fine.
He's not going to see the third.
I think
he saw the creep. I think he saw the creep.
The probe maybe already saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He knew. And now the Shade's going to fake into the main. The Lings will follow it as they have to do. It is their job.
Yeah, he might go with 2. In general, the idea is like you push the front with 2. Like this sort of timing when you can snipe the tumor would be really nice for Zain. He does.
He got it.
Yeah, it's like these very minor, but you know, they snowball. It's a nice start for Zain for sure.
And the boys are going to run in. One of them's Shade is on cooldown, but now they're ready to go. And it's going to make their way into the main, and they're going to fake it. And he's probably going to cancel because those Lings are doing a good job.
Yeah, they have speed, in fact, so they are going to chase these down now, maybe. Or not.
I think it's a little bit too far.
Fig could have dived on that a little bit earlier. I think Zain wasn't fully watching, to be honest. I think they could have gotten on there and maybe picked off this weak one, but they're going to get home. It's the Oracle out now, so time for the Oracle show.
Yeah, and the Oracle's going to see the Lings coming off the map and actually turn back, which makes sense because he doesn't want those to kill all of his probes.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually the third base that Fig can pressure. Like, this should be, this is walled now, so he won't ever get into the main. He looks like he's looking for these.
Looking for the Adepts. They're going to try and shade away. And the Oracle's going to have to come back and help here, but it's got very little energy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't use the energy recharge yet, so the... Oh, that is a big mistake.
He's misclicked recall instead of energy recharge.
So
that
he wanted to use this one and recharge the energy on the crawl. He actually recalled it, even though it was already next to his Nexus. That's unfortunate. Losing now a shield battery. He's definitely, like, feeling
He's going to lose the Adepts, I think. Yeah, he loses both the Adepts as well, and the Oracle still doesn't have enough energy to clean this up, so he's going to have to warp in 2 more.
Yeah, he's now done the energy recharge, so the Oracle's back to full energy. It was a nice little play from Figaro. He like forces the Oracle to turn on to clear up the Lings, and then burns all the energy, and you know that kind of pressure meant that Zain fumbled the hotkey. I don't know what it's bound to by default. I would have thought that recharge, R for recharge, and then instead he clicked R for recall.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe it's on C. Either way.
Yeah.
Maybe he's rebounded to adjacent keys. Who can say? All we know, a little bit of a miss micro, not what you want to see.
Yeah, that's
and it did cost him the shield battery, which he didn't cancel, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. So that's actually puts Figaro in a really nice spot in this game. Fig does now start to lose a couple drones to the 2 Adept power spike. This is unfortunate because he had also made some defensive Lings. 5 for 2 Adepts is a really nice trade for the Protoss. He also lost a worker from the Oracle, like circling back around, so that's also a really good spot. In general, I don't know. I think Fig's kind of okay with this early game. I think that shook out quite well for him.
Yeah, that Stalker was holding position nicely between the gases, but has chosen a terrible time to go back home.
Yeah, and there's no battery remade here, so he's going to have to warp in a lot of Adepts. Well, I know that he doesn't want to go for the Adepts. He has no glaives, sorry.
Yes.
Instead going for charge. Yeah. Actually, the chrono on this, I think, gives a lot away. Can't really be blinking if he's warping in more Adepts. It kind of telegraphs glaives. I feel like Fig maybe knows this is charge. He knows it's something, and I expect him to put
Oh no, the Lings are going to get in. The probe was too slow to go and wall in, and this Artosis pylon is going to go down, empowering both the gateway and the cyber.
This is really unfortunate for Zain, and we're just seeing Fig play like slightly faster and slightly more in his face, and going to get good damage here as well. Maybe 3, 4, 5 more workers go down, so 8 total.
Fig's doing a good job of forcing arrows out of Zain here, which is kind of putting him on the back foot in pretty much every engagement.
Yeah, so the other side of this is that Zain is going for this like Immortal drop. It's not really
Immortal drop? There's a weird Immortal.
Yeah, yeah. Archon drop. It's not really Christiana style where it's like charged on Immortal Archon. He's not making any Immortals currently. But it meant that like these were really obvious for a while, and actually the Adepts that are now in the natural were really obvious for a while as well. They still get really good damage actually. 10 workers going down between the two sides.
You know, speaking about Christiana, I saw Gerald playing Christiana on ladder earlier today.
Yeah, right. I think that's quite a common occurrence at a high level. There's not
that many players to go around on ladder, is there?
These Adepts being so annoying.
12 workers is really nice.
Really
brought the workers account to even, pretty much, which is insane at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially because they were stood under this Overlord for a really long time, and Fig just didn't really notice. There is a lot of damage onto the Prism, although with the Obs here, he can start clearing up some of this creep, being really irritating. You know,
what kill counts are we looking at here? 3 and 7? That's respectable.
More creep tumors and even a Roach going down, so this is a really good start. Like, clawing his way back in for Zain. Behind this, he's going to start getting up towards that. They're calling it Christiana style. It's like charge lot, Immortal, Archon. So we are starting to see the Immortals on the way, a second Robo on the way. So it's really hard to play against this, actually.
This Oracle's been a real pain in the butt with that energy recharge. Just picking away on the Lings, making sure that they can't find good purchase. The shield battery was actually there in the third this time, so easier to defend as well. There's 2 now. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, 1 didn't cut it, so he's going to be extra safe, make the 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Had a pause request from Zain. So we'll just see what's wrong with that and get back into the game in just a moment.
Yeah.
Maybe we should throw... Oh no, it's just going to be a quick pause. Someone's unplugged Zain's mouse. That is not what you want to see mid-game. No, wait. Zain said sec. Hold on.
Just checking that Fig didn't go for coffee again. Okay.
Yeah, do the 3, 2, 1.
I need to figure out where the pause button is on this keyboard.
Zain can't unpause, you're the referee.
I know, so I'm trying to figure out how I unpause. Let's try this.
There we go.
So, Zain gonna keep playing aggressive and annoying with this Prism, and that gives him a bit of space to get his like Immortal count up and get Storm out. Fig going straight for Hydras, and actually Infest Pit behind this. So I expect like Hive, maybe Vipers, maybe into fast Lurkers.
Zain getting Storm is going to work really well if that's the case, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's really hard to play into this. The Immortals and Archons are so tanky, and then gives you a really good time to like set up nice Storms and put those Storms down, and then it's really hard for the Zerg to play against it. On the other side, Zain only just getting his 4th base down. It's relatively late. Fig was kind of lurking with these Lings and like checking this location, but he could have dived on this, but didn't spot it in time.
The Oracle's going to see the push out coming with these Roaches, and actually going to drive them back momentarily.
Yeah, he can actually... I think he could have killed that if he was watching from
the
start.
He's going to get it. He's going to
get it. 17 kill, Oracle going down. On the other side, Storm just finishing up, and he's had these Templar for a while. He should have a recharge off of cooldown as well. So, one of these is a full energy High Templar with a lot of Storm.
And they're going to come in handy now as this engagement begins. The Roaches are going to pick away on that 4th. Shield battery not ready yet, and the Archon is moving in.
Yeah, good Storms to start things off. Another one at the top would be really good. And Fig is actually eating these quite badly. But there's not a huge number of units here, so Fig dives on top. A recharge down on here, so we get another Storm out. And that, I think, is going to be the hold for Zain. It looked rough there. Like, he's only on, 8 units? But
there's
I
a
think
lot
with
more.
Another warp in, more Immortals coming, I think he may be able to hold this.
The trickle of Zerg units is pretty strong. There are 6 drones, 7 drones going down. The 5th is being attacked on the other side of the map. A good Zealot run by doing damage there. If Zain can hold this, he'll be in a really good position, but he's got to hold this first.
Yeah, I think the reinforcements are mostly Roaches. Now they're stopped because they went to deal with the Roach counter-attack. So as soon as the Roaches go down to the Immortals, the Hydras are really squishy, and actually they'll probably die to these few Zealots.
Yep.
This was a bit of an anti-timing for Zain, like really unfortunate that happened in the order it did.
But he still held.
2-2 just finished, but he held. Fig had +1 lining up with that and his Hydra upgrade, so it was like actually a decent timing, and kind of everything came together quite well.
Yeah.
Like for that fight, and I don't think it like really went his way super well.
I don't think it did what he was looking for it to do. You know, especially with the Zealots on the other side of the map doing counter damage, it kind of evened out everything that he gained. He killed a lot of high-tech units, right? He killed High Templars, Archons, maybe an Immortal here or there, one by the looks of it. But that's, he was expecting to do damage to that 4th, potentially deny it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before the shield battery got down, maybe get some probes, and didn't really succeed.
It is nice to keep the tech unit count low, especially High Templar, which obviously they just use their energy, and then if you keep them alive, they get energy back, and you just keep using them.
They scale, right? They create value the longer they live.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's nice to keep those alive, and nice for the Zerg to snipe those and keep that count low. But like you said, he only lost single Immortal, so the Immortal count is starting to get really healthy. Behind this Fig going into Lurkers, I didn't see... I think his Hive must be finished already.
I think it was.
That one. There you go. So he does have the lurker upgrades well on the way. A little bit late on the Ling upgrades, but that's less important. So I think this now is looking more like lurker timing. It's rough. The lurkers versus immortals really comes down to the fight. So like if Fig can get into a good spot in a choke, the immortals lose. If he's over here, for example, and immortals come from this side and this side, the immortals win that
Split push now coming from Fig. He's going to send a few roaches and lings up to the top, try and push the natural whilst coming in with his main force into the south.
To be honest, the natural's really well defended, so I don't expect that there's going to be a lot of value there. Good spot on these units on the south side with the warp prism. Even the ward is rough because this also like acts like a bit of a force field. It's really hard to play around.
Yep, definitely not an engagement that FIGARO wanted to take, and we can see him retreating back home, realise that nothing was getting done at the natural, and pushing in at the fourth would have been a mistake at that point.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's going to be really tough now for Fig. You know, he's maxed, so he wants to be doing something, but I really don't know.
It's going air, by the way.
Yeah, as the game gets into this like later stage, he starts thinking about like brood lords. Really, immortals don't really cut it, so like broods are kind of the idea. And he needs to start preparing for Zain to start making Tempests and carriers, so you need the...
Does Zain even have a single Stargate yet there? I don't think he's built a single
one.
Yeah,
he opened with Oracle.
Sorry.
He's got
There's an Oracle right there.
There's an Oracle there, but he hasn't really used it yet.
No, he's not been building anything out of it since the beginning of the game.
He has the money, so he can start to. He's getting really good damage with another really small Zealot run by. I think the Warp Prism went down now to these queens, but got some more Zealot Warpins off.
It's worth it. He's taken a worker lead now. That was 18 drones gone down. Those are going to have to be rebuilt. That's less army units coming out from the lava.
Yeah, absolutely. And it means that Fig's having to play really defensive. We start to see this like posture game where he's rotating back and forth on creep. There isn't an UBS with this, so he's not going to be able to clear the creep without the Oracle. And you kind of want to keep the Oracle energy higher because you need it to reveal the lurkers. This observer has been here all game, like just here
chilling.
Watching. So it's finally coming into relevance. Going to help Zain to clear some creep out.
There's a lack of overseers maybe from FIGARO. Do you think that's a mistake? Or
It is as the mothership starts to hit the field because that's really scary. And the cloak on that is
two more
really
Stargates on the way. So here comes that air transition that we were kind of hinting at. The lurker's going to try and move out across the map and hit before.
This could be an insane fight. If you can get these in the ground, this is a really good fight for Fig. But he's not watching at all. Because of the run-by in his natural. So another run-by from the Warp Prism. This is another big lot of damage.
This is super interesting, right? We saw Zain being kind of pulled around by Fig and making sloppy mistakes at the start, but now it's kind of, the tables have completely flipped. These Zealot run-bys are absolutely decimating Fig's concentration right now.
Zealots are so strong.
14 more drones!
Yeah, and you can just do this, like a million more Zealots in the main. So like Fig now is F2ing everything back into the main, and at the same time...
This opens up the rest of the army to come do damage at a different base.
Exactly. I don't know that Zain has a position
Oh, they unburrowed momentarily. There was a chance that we could get on top of them. He's still going to stall them. He's actually going to walk on in.
For Fig at all. So an Immortal going down at the front. He's using some storms, but these aren't good storms.
Just need a recall.
Yeah, he needs to walk away from this. Yeah, the recall does come out. This was not a good fight from Zain. I think he thought that more of Fig's army had gone into the main to deal with the drop.
Fifth took a little bit of damage there, but...
yeah, Fifth coming up.
Oh, no, you know what it was? It was the recall flashing on the minimap.
Yeah, absolutely.
My bad.
But Fig now needs to start taking this base, needs to take this base. He's not in a good spot economically at all. Down in workers, yeah. He doesn't have actually, like...
He's got a gas bank, but nothing to do with it.
But he needs the money to start switching into Corruptors.
And here is the first Tempest. The Corruptors are going to probably take that one out because it was a little bit too far forward. The Mothership's going to try and help it just in time. Wow,
really
that was a huge save. Look, the Tempest was on like 1 hit point.
Yeah, 14. That's 1 Corruptor hit away. This fight is really tough to manage for Zain because he's like stuck with the Lurkers on the ramp, like driving a wedge between his two positions. I think you're right. I think missing Overseers here is really hurting him because Zain has really good vision of the whole army.
He just walked into a whole bunch of Lurkers. He lost the entire Tempest army. High Templar, sorry.
Yeah, it might be okay because there's just nothing here that shoots up, and the new Mothership is really strong. So Zain's going to kite and kite the Tempest and keep these units alive as much as he can. More High Templar coming down. He's making more Immortals. Zain never really got to like full maxed out supply, so that's unfortunate. Okay, nice dodge on the ward here for FIGARO as he does rotate towards the left. Fig, I think, Zain, I think, took too much of a bad fight there, and I think Fig has some play in this game. But
yeah, it's still pretty tight. It's still pretty tight.
Actually, I said it's low eco, but Fig actually droned up behind this, so he's looking kind of okay again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's getting a lot done with not a lot of units right now, I guess, while he's, increasing his economy back at home. And he's keeping the Tempest count down. There's enough Corruptors to kind of deal with them since they're kind of trickling in one by one. The Mothership didn't really want to help in this fight. A bit of a shame.
He needs to keep this alive. It takes so long and it's so expensive to build. The main problem here is just not enough Archons, because the Archons zone the Corruptors away. And you know, Storm helps with that as well. And Zain's not done a great job of keeping those units alive. So like 9 Archons going down, 15 High Templar is really rough.
Zain feeling like he's having to push out. I mean, he's really not got a lot to push out with. It's going to be really risky.
Yeah, pushing into the Zerg, like with the Lurkers already sieged on creep is really difficult. I wish there was just a single Obs here, because I don't think Zain has an Oracle anymore. So if you kill the Obs, you just can't see the Lurkers. You just win like by default.
He's finally making Overseers at 16.5 minutes into the game. Probably could have done with seeing those a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he didn't make one.
This is literally the first one he's made all game.
Yeah. We are getting Hydra Dash. Did you know this was in the game?
What?
Hydra Dash.
Hydra Dash.
I think it has a real name, but I don't know what it is.
We'll never find out.
And I'll never know. See, this is what I'm talking about with the Archons really zoning the Corruptors away from the Sky units, and this is what like allows you to stabilize into that.
Did FIGARO think he could go P on a building? Like, why did he send his Corruptors off like that?
Yeah, I mean, you can go and P on a building, but you can also go and like camp over his production.
Oh, just kill them as they come out.
Snipe one as soon as it drops. Oh, it's called Lunge. Okay,
now we know.
Fantastic naming.
Okay, I'll be keeping an eye out for Lunge.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's
hopefully the Corruptors don't pull their hamstrings when they lunge.
Yeah. Do they have hamstrings? They've got,
absolutely
like,
not. There's no way a Corruptor has a hamstring.
Let's see. Ready for the Hydra Dash?
I know when I tend to lunge, I usually pull something. So
he still hasn't.
Just trying to look out for them.
What a waste of an upgrade. Look at the Hydra. Oh, it died. There are 2 left.
So the Observers are kind of gone from this fight now. There's no real way for Zain to see anything. He doesn't have an Oracle to reveal them. Yeah. And the Overseer is hovering over it to kind of kill anything that goes over. Oh, that one is still alive.
Yeah,
sorry,
there's one
I didn't see that
just
one.
barely, but it's probably not seeing a lot. And there are 2 Oracles on the way, so Zain is realizing this now. But he doesn't have a huge amount of money to spend. He never maxed out. Oh, this is rough. And he moves into all of the Lurkers that, you know, through this sight blocker, it's hard to see. There's some trees here that block the sight. Through that, Zain didn't realize that Figure just burrowed just out of reach. I think this is start of the end here, as Fig gets into a really good siege position on top of Zain's 4th base, can't count. Zain is going to be forced to defend it, and this is not the fight that he really wanted. The Corruptor count is going to keep the air count low, and I think these Lurkers will just about survive.
When the Mothership goes down, I think that's going to be GG. There's a bajillion Corruptors that are going to start peeing on this Nexus, and there's very little Zain can do about it now.
There's nothing on the ground now to like hold the Ling reinforcements, Hydra reinforcements. Actually, I don't think we ever used Hydra Dash.
No, we missed it.
In general, it's a weird spot for the ability, because when you have a control group, it's going to have your Lurkers in it, so they're going to be at the top.
Yep.
So you'd have to like press tab to get to the Hydras to click the dash button.
Yeah.
So like, that's never going to happen.
No, ain't nobody got time for that.
But he made the upgrade, so we did see that.
And we found the name.
Yeah,
we now know it's called Lunge.
Because they all have cool names, like Metabolic Boost or like Ventral Sacs or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah. A really good game, really close there, and I think we saw some strengths and weaknesses to both players at a really like early position. It's really nice to see.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to scroll up and see what the map.
We've lost the chat, but yeah, we do have the maps here. We'll get on to game 2 in just a moment. A reminder that this is a best of 5, and we have FIGARO going 1-0 up in the series. As we said, at the start of the game, Zain looked a bit sloppy, right? But he kind of grew into the match. I think by the end, Zain felt like he was in a much better place, trading back and forth, making things happen. And, you know, there's a chance this series is a bit closer from here on out. I think if Zain has a tighter early game in game 2, I still favour him to take a few maps.
Yeah, similarly though, FIGARO on the other side, playing a little bit sloppy into that like mid and early late game, taking a lot of damage from Zealot run-bys that actually shouldn't have done that much. So it's
definitely something Zain knows now he can exploit and continue to exploit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like once you see these little like foibles in your opponent's play, you're like, oh, okay, Warp Prism is going to be like a priority in this one. Yeah. And even, you know, Warp Prism on the Warp Prism with the Archons was really helping him to get some really good chip damage like into that mid game.
Yep.
Just checking, waiting for Zain to say he's ready. Fig says he's ready, Zain ready. Okay, we go. Indy says he's always ready. He's
ready. Indy's always ready. We don't even need to ask. We do not even need to ask.
Game 2 on ley lines. Game 1, I think, maybe a Zerg map.
You think so?
Guess. I think it leans Zerg. I think most people say. I'll ask what they think. I think that's a decent.
You think Fig picked that one?
Unsure. Maybe.
Anyway, we will be getting into map number 2. If we can get the scene change production, please.
Oh, he's a bit distracted.
Could you change the scene, please? Production. There we go. We'll be getting into game number 2 on Leyline, starting in the bottom left-hand corner, representing himself in the blue trunks, down 1-0 in this series. It is Zain.
Spawning in the top right, playing in the red for Team Starcraft Improve. Taking the lead in this series so far, it's FIGARO, playing 15-15.
Are we just going to assume he did that last game as well? Because we
I don't think he did. I thought about it, and I think his speed was too fast, so I think that was standard opening.
Okay.
But I'm prepared to be wrong.
Prepared to be proven wrong. We could have checked the VOD. We could have checked the build order even. That would have been even quicker. But no, not today.
We speculate here.
We are going to hypothesize and operate firmly in the land of make-believe.
But yeah, pretty normal openers from both players. Last game, so I think we're going to see the same again this one.
Yeah, no reason to rock the boat too much for either player just yet. It is a best of 5. Got a bit more time here to explore into the series, try different build orders out, and then only resort on a cheese when you're maybe up a game or maybe on the precipice of being knocked down to the lower bracket. Just to remind everyone, this is an upper bracket semi-final, and the loser of this match will go down and play, I want to say Optimist, but I'm going to double check if that's actually true.
Does it depend on the matches or not at all?
Nope, so the loser of this game will go down to play Optimist in the lower bracket, so potentially a PvP for Zain or another ZVP for FIGARO. And on the other side of the bracket we have ACV Molten waiting to be played. That one may or may not be finished, and the winner of that game will be playing Raza after his loss to Gerald.
Cool. So then the winner of this one plays Gerald in the upper final. Is that what we're calling it?
That's absolutely right. The upper bracket final, another best of 5. Winner of this game goes there with the chance to go into that grand final, that best of 7 on the stage at 9 PM tonight with a 1-0 map advantage.
UK time.
UK time, GMT, I think we are on at the moment.
Yeah, it's not summertime.
Not British summertime right now, it's GMT.
We might get rid of that one day.
I really hope we just stick with British summertime. It's much better. I don't like these dark mornings. Sorry, dark evenings. Dark mornings are fine. Nobody wakes up in the morning these days anyway, do they?
I'm trying to think about... So if we're an hour ahead, which is in summer, right? We go forward an hour in summer.
Spring forward, fullback.
Yeah, that's American. But
I know, but it's the only mnemonic I have.
So if we're an hour ahead, it would now be like 4 PM instead of...
Yeah, so it'll be lighter later.
Okay.
Because it's, imagine the brightness it is now, but later in the day.
But an hour later.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah, you get more light in the afternoon and evenings in the darker times of the year. But enough about time zones. I'm sure our fans are absolutely riveted by this discussion.
It's cool.
Right now,
it's
though,
good education.
We have an adept trying to get into the main. It's going to get cancelled, though.
Doing valuable service for the people of Brent. You can snipe that. Like, I don't know why Fig would do this. You can just right-click that. We did it.
Yay!
Like, why would you?
First blood.
You saw the...
Is that actually first blood? Did anything else die so far? No.
No. We saw...
Wait, how did he lost 12 resources?
From the extractor trick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such a weird number to lose as well.
He's absolutely going to finish this because his links are a little bit out of position. 2 workers going down already.
Why has he pulled the drones? Oh, to make it harder.
Yeah.
There's 3.
It's not actually any harder, really. Because like you'll have them both selected, you just A-click one and that one.
It doesn't matter which one.
But if there was one that was like slightly weaker, it's harder.
Protects
but
it, yeah.
he did kind of like drill through to get a good surround and kill those adepts quite quick. 3 I think is fine. 4 is good. 5 is good. 2 is kind of mid for losing 2 adepts. If they're going to send the slowlings across the map, they will have speed, but not for like a hot minute. And the Oracle is already here and already really full of energy. It didn't get recalled this game, so that's cool. It's
going to kill 4 of the links. Not too shabby. The speed should finish just in time for the other 2 to get away.
Yeah, and Fig doing a good job of like splitting these up and trying to waste as much Oracle energy as possible. He just wasted a little bit of energy.
At least one survived.
This one's alive.
It's going to scout as well. That's actually getting a little bit of value there. So, that's a lesson to learn,
This is actually good value because he sees the second Oracle. Zain only made 1 in the whole of last game, so nice to see that this is out. And this telegraphs a little bit more of what he's planning to play it like through the later stages of the game. To me, this means Blink Stalkers.
Yep, and we do see the Twilight on the way, a Stalker on the way as well. That's the benefit of being an observer, is we can cheat.
We can, but even last game, Fig saw Zain whopping in like 4 Adepts, and that tends to telegraph like not Blink Stalkers. This is a normal timing to have a Stalker because you want to clear this Overlord out. But obviously, it is also Blink.
Did he see the Twilight?
I don't think... good question, actually. Yeah, I didn't see it at all. That's interesting.
But he's probably got enough information to ensure it, given the level he's at and the amount of games he would have played.
Yeah, I mean, if I can figure it out, he can figure it out.
Yeah.
He is going to dive onto these Stalkers before the batteries are up. This is a really nice spot, actually, because the Stalkers really suck against the Lings. Now would be a cool time to recall the Oracle, but I think he probably hasn't got energy and is going to have to fly them home. So losing a lot of workers here, even a couple transferring in, they're going to go down as well.
It's also painful losing Stalkers when you're going to Link Stalker.
Yeah, absolutely, because you want those alive for the later stages of the game. This is like just a slight mistiming on the battery, basically, I think. If they're going to keep these Lings alive and keep poking around as well, so that's like extra annoying, but I think this is kind of stabilized. Zain, I think, probably sending the Oracles over too early or the battery too late, you know, some combination of those two. They are going to dive now, only going to get one drone. He's trying to keep these like nice and healthy. One of them already quite low, but what can you do? I think we probably didn't see a few drone kills. Mostly, so 3 of those were from the Adept, so then 2 are from the Oracle.
Yeah, the Oracle's not able to get much done. One was just killed then and one, I guess, before whilst the Lings were coming in. So not what Zain was hoping for, absolutely.
So Fig going to power up into, this time into straight ranged. Last game he went melee first, this game straight ranged. And roach sweep behind this. This looks like it might be kind of a timing attack. He's making a few Lings, which I guess, you know, help to hold the Stalker pressure, which is going to be hitting around now.
And the roaches are coming in now as well.
Yeah, these may go straight into Ravs, because until they have speed, they're quite weak. But he maybe doesn't have enough gas to like commit heavily into Ravagers this early. We'll see. He's
Zain should be able to cancel this base, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the creep spread just isn't here, so it's really hard to play around. I think you're right, that's going to be a cancel.
We hope.
That's a kill.
Not. That's just 400 minerals down the drain. Oh, no, sorry. How many is it nowadays?
275 plus 50.
Great. My maths is not that quick. 325. It's gone up by 25. Woo, everybody's happy.
So, more Lings snaking around. Yeah, Fig is going to just expand on the other side, but this hatch is like not as far along as the other one, this one was. I think this is too far forward and just kind of too exposed. We kind of talked a bit about it in the previous game, saying like a lot of these maps have really exposed fort bases.
Identifying that those Lings were trapped and kind of blinking on in there to get a little bit of damage done. Going to have to move away.
Yeah, he should hang around so he can pick some of these off as well.
Yep, which he does.
Yeah, I don't love the blink forward there.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is deceptively hard. Because it only got like a couple more Lings, but so Zain, you know, snaking around
Blinks
a little
are free
bit.
though.
They are now, yeah, now the cooldown's off again. Fig is F2ing these back. This isn't a surround, this is an accident.
Yeah.
Hydra's
this one.
out. Yeah, this is good. Hydra's out. He actually managed to proc the Stasis Ward as well.
One Ling, that was really clean.
This is not enough Lings for a surround, unfortunately. These Hydras still don't have speed, so they're going to get like kited a little bit. But in general, Fig feels like this is like critical mass, and he can start to move across. Good proc on that Stasis Ward once again. Needs to be careful of this last one though. Needs to send these roaches out ahead. Yeah, really careful there. Yeah.
Oh, Zain nearly managed to pick it off though to stop it from triggering, which would have been a nice little counter play.
Yeah, it's very hard. I don't love this attack in with the batteries and cannons here. These Hydras are just so squishy with nothing to tank for them. They have speed but not range.
Ooh,
so they're
that's a good Stasis Ward there.
Still not on max power. Yeah, not a bad Stasis Ward at all. I think this might not go Fig's way. He needs to start off.
And these four Hydras are going to be sacrificed as well for the cause.
This
Cannons will finish it off.
Yeah, this one's going to die to a cannon. And this one is going to die to this cannon. Anyway, I'll keep following the Stalkers.
I want to see them die. Yay!
So, yeah.
Sorry, my Protoss bias coming in slightly.
Some bad trades to kick things off for FIGARO. I don't know how well this kind of timing works. I don't like the thought of it, basically.
Yeah.
Roach Hydra, like as a comp, is kind of mid. Against Stalkers, it's kind of mid.
Zain is very comfortable with the Blink Stalker style. He will stay on this style for way too long in a lot of games. I can see why he's kind of gone for it this game after what he tried last game didn't really work out, so he's got something more comfortable. But it's still going to be hard for him to hold this sustained aggression.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good job procking these wards so far for FIGARO, getting another one there. He's done so well with these things. It's actually like deceptively hard to do. Like when you're watching, it looks easy, but like consistently splitting off the right number of Lings is really hard. Zain actually already switching out of this behind.
He's got Storm, he's got Templar now.
Yeah, but he's also gone for another 2 Stargates and the Fleet Beacon. Yeah, so I expect this will be Tempest. If he can afford it, then like powering up into Tempest now is really good. And I think he can afford it. Losing this base to that like Roach Hydra run by was rough, but
and we're seeing the Lurker transition now as well on FIGARO.
Yeah, FIGARO's slower this game into the Spire though, and I think he needs to realise that he needs that sooner than he thinks if Zain's going to start powering up off of these Stargates. Zain being a little bit slow to use these. He has the bank for it now, so he should really.
And the Lings are actually going to scout all 3.
Yeah, so now is when he goes.
And kill a bunch of probes.
Now it's time for a spine. Yeah, the probes kills are nice, but not completely necessary. This is actually a bit of a distraction as Fig gets back onto this base once again.
Zain also does F2, so there's actually a lot of probes going down because those Stalkers that were going to go clean them up left the base. So 15 probes do die while this attack goes on. The base cancelled or destroyed? I think it was destroyed.
Yeah, I think destroyed. Still no Storm on these High Templar. They're just baby Templar. They just finished Templar training.
I thought the Storm... What happened to the Storm?
He had like one, but now all of these are.
Oh, you mean no energy? No energy.
Sorry,
I thought you meant he cancelled the research. I was like, oh my god, he's going to die!
No. He has the research, no energy. He could walk over here and recharge one, so that he did have Storm.
One whole Templar. He's trying to go for it
again. Links are absolutely popping off, by the way. I didn't think they would do much, but they've done a lot.
They killed 20 workers.
Yeah, and depowered all of this, and these Oracles are fully out of energy, which actually, you know, means that the Lings are still alive, and it means that there's no reveal energy to deal with the Lurkers. I think Figaro might have just put himself in a really good spot to win this game. As soon as these Lurkers are done, he's going to head up this ramp. There's still like very minimal Storm. He just used quite a few. Stalkers are going to melt against the Lurkers and the Hydras, and even Archons, like they're two stubby little arms, so they don't reach far enough to...
Zain's got a humongous bank that he wants to be building into carriers, apparently, but he's got no powered Stargates to build them with. He's distracted on both fronts. He's trying to deal with those Lings, which are still in his natural, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, no, those are Roaches now. Sorry, the Lings did get cleaned up, but the Roaches are going to do just as much damage. The fourth base is going to go down again. Will it get cancelled this time? I'm not sure.
No.
Nope.
I mean, Zain could have been using these. They only just got depowered now by these this Roach Vampire. I'd love for him to just right-click that High Templar, because that's
Did he cancel the carrier, by the way? What the hell's going on? There's now a Tempest coming out of them.
Yeah. No, he has 3 Stargates, so a different one is building a carrier.
Is there a... No, the carrier's gone. And so is Zain. We're going to make it 2-0 in that series. I think he cancelled it or it died to something, but I don't know what, because Roaches don't shoot up.
Anyway, like I said, just runs those Lurkers in. That's checkmate, you know, sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and Zain really struggling in that series to get a foothold on the match. Just went from bad to worse really across the game.
I think Fig played that one really well. Didn't take a huge amount of damage early game. Set himself up into a really nice spot. Got into a little bit of trouble when he did kind of a... Which one of these says Ultra Love? Am I dumb? There it is. Ultra Love for game 3. Got into a little bit of sort of that timing. I didn't love it. I just don't really... No. I don't see what it's meant to achieve.
No. But he was smart to kind of transition out of it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Take the game in a different direction and then repush. And it was kind of too much. The run by Zain a bit sloppy again, letting that in, letting that do so much damage, not really dealing with it. Putting the Stalkers away when they were trying to defend. Lots of probes going down, then the pylons going down. Really kind of spiraled, right? That's why he couldn't spend his money.
But it's
that's why he lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and maybe he would say he was too quick to get those Stargates.
Did Zain say ready?
Yeah, so he said it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think he might say that he was too quick into those Stargates, and you know, he only had a few Stalkers, High Templar that didn't have enough energy, 2 Archons. Like, is that really enough to hold against the Zain? I guess not. Yeah. You're investing into those Stargates, and then we just watch them like not be used for a while. So like, when you're in that kind of position, it's really hard to like get value out of the investment that you just made into Stargates. You feel a fool. I think that's kind of the story of that game in general. Spawning in the bottom left of Ultra Love, playing in the blue is Zain.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our number 2 seed looking to secure his spots against Gerald in the upper bracket final. It is Figaro. Figaro?
Yasha?
We can go with Yash.
Yash.
Good old Yash. So I said before the series, but I haven't said on stream, this is the Imperial Starcraft Classic.
You're going to need to do some more lore and explain that a little bit.
More lore, yeah. So Zain was a member of Imperial University, like myself.
Where is that?
In London. Big Blighty.
Where is that?
London in Blighty, you know, UK.
Southeast.
Famous place,
okay.
yeah. Okay. And we had a Starcraft Society. We took Figaro to fight the mighty Cambridge University in a Starcraft LAN tournament, and Yasha played in that for us.
Who won?
I don't remember. We tried to balance it, right? So it was like a kind of team battle situation. We had like a plat via plat, a diamond via diamond, and then Yasha was our kind of ace in the hole. I don't think Zain played because he was kind of on a different level at that time. And yeah, lots of good memories playing together in Starcraft Society. Raza as well, another alumni of Imperial Starcraft Society. And shout out to Kaz as well, the head of Imperial Starcraft Society for many a year, founded the society and kind of turned it into what is now, I guess, Imperial's esports society, to be honest. Yeah, very cool history there.
There's the history.
Yep.
I went to Aberystwyth University.
Aberystwyth?
Yeah.
Nice.
It
How was
good.
it?
I would live there all my life if I could. It's excellent. I like
Yeah.
being in the sea. I like the sea a bit.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
It's good vibes.
Good vibes. Good UK vibes. That's what we like to hear.
So Zain doing a bit of a late scout. At this point in the series, you're like, yeah, why not? You know he's actually not going to 12 pull you. This isn't a great map for 12 pull in any case. So FIGARO playing 15-15 once again because like it keeps working. He likes it, so why change it? Just need to be a bit careful. Yeah, that probe took quite a bit of damage. Again, normal opening for Zain and Stargate behind it as he's wont to do.
That probe's going to die, right?
No.
Apparently not. The Ling's got bored.
Yeah, I mean they get scared away by the Adept, but like, they maybe could have got it, to be honest. In general, you need to be a bit careful because you don't want the Lings out of position. They were slightly out of position in the game before, so Zain ended up like finishing that shade into the main. Though I guess he only has one Adept out now another one, but yeah, better to be safe than sorry. Needs to get a couple more Lings going, actually. Let's see. He's going to put this tumor here, and Zain's going to right-click it again. That's happened every game so far, or I guess both of them.
Safe bet. Let's see. Wait for it. Oh, the queen's gone on an adventure.
You would hope not a safe bet, because you'd hope that he'd be like, oh, I should stop this tumor getting sniped. I think it might get sniped.
Yeah, there's two on the high ground. There's no way this does not get sniped.
Ready?
There it goes.
Okay, brilliant.
You sound so depressed.
It's fine. I'm over it.
Yeah. Are you sure?
This shade
Is that
might
an
finish
Evo
up.
wall block?
Yeah. It was just to try and keep the Adept away. Again, these Lings are out of position.
Are they going to get
fine, but like 4 or 5 is rough.
That's 4. That's 5. That's 6.
Yeah. Okay.
And
this
one
is
gets
really
out
bad.
alive, I think.
And he needs to.
Did one get out?
Yeah, this one. Just barely. Queen's like.
Keep rallying it.
Yeah.
Run, little guy. Run.
This Queen needs to get her creep going again. Get some injects onto this.
That Adept's going to stay there, by the way, and snipe another creep tumor. Oh, it ran away. Boo.
It's too scared. Too scared. But the Oracle is out and recharged and ready to go. In general,
Zain's got to be happy with that.
bad start for Zain. Bad start for Fig. Good start for Zain.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work is going down. Like 6 for one Adept is pretty crazy.
That is pretty shocking, actually.
And he got a creep tumor, and that's the most important thing.
That is.
There's still no creep here, see?
Yeah, no creep connecting to that third, and that's really important as a Zerg. You know, you've got to connect your bases up, or else you can't defend the attacks.
Yeah, I mean, luckily though on this map, there's only like a little bit of unconnected.
Yeah,
creep,
you just need your queen to sneeze in that direction,
Yeah,
and she'll creep that one up for you.
Yeah. So Zain this time is actually keeping an Oracle home so it can defend against the inevitable Ling counter attack, but also attacking.
It'd be smarter if he actually activated the beam on it. There we go, got there in the end. Took a little bit longer than I would have liked, but we found the button.
Kept the hero Adept alive though. Yeah, Zain was looking at the other side at this Oracle. Luckily, Fig was in really good position. So like, the Spore wasn't done, but once there's 2 queens and like positioned nicely, it works. Spore done over here, so this base is safe, and over here, so the main is safe. Alair with no Roach Warren.
Is he getting greedy?
Yeah, it might be Mutas.
Ooh.
Trying to think, or like Hydra Push or something.
Well, we can revisit our discussion the other day about whether Mutas are terrible or not.
Yeah, we'll see. They are, but we'll see whether they work in this game. Stranger things have happened. Yeah, I don't know what he's going for. You'd expect to see like an Evo, even if he was playing Mutas. I would expect him to go like +1 Lings into Mutas. At the moment, he's like no units, like just drones.
Just drones
Lings.
across the
sky.
sky.
I think,
Zain's keeping up pretty well.
I think it's a Hydra timing.
With workers.
But I think maybe you go double Hydra Zen with this, or like, I think you still could have got +1 melee, but in general, this is like a classic Fig build where he's like making it up. It's not optimized. He hasn't got like a super big plan at like, this time I make this time I make this. He's like, I want to do a Hydra timing. I'll make a Hydra Den, make some Hydras.
Yep. And he's going to out-macro you if he can.
This is the problem of having not enough Lings. I think he does have enough now. And these aren't Glaive Adepts because it is Blink out.
Did he cancel the shade? Oh, yeah, he did. That's a shame.
I don't know how this happened, to be honest. There's definitely enough Lings here to clean that up. Oracle's going to come through.
The Oracle, yeah.
Yeah, this one really low, but still keeps it alive.
So Zain's going to be defending against these Hydras with Blink. We expect to see some sort of timing push from FIGARO with the Hydras.
Yeah, I don't know now, because the Stalkers are going to come across, and that was a really good opening for Zain. Even more Lings.
It's going to be a counter push, yeah. Zain's going to get there first, which is going to be really nice for him.
Yeah.
Stasis Wall getting triggered again. Really well done still by FIGARO. Always getting on top of those.
This is not good.
The Overlord farm.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Cows are going down.
Words are failing me.
Oh, the thing's getting in this round here. The blink is done, however, so he is going to just about be able to escape. That Stasis Ward not doing a lot, and the Lings are still on top of most of the Stalkers.
This is the problem with the Hydra timing.
It's so slow.
Is the Hydras are giga slow, and he can't actually go aggressive until his upgrade finishes. But Hydras are much better against Stalkers, and especially the Oracles. The whole idea with the comp is that like the Stalkers defend. The Stalkers do the damage, and then the Oracles defend the Stalkers from the Lings. And having Oracles really puts a lot of pressure onto these, especially like weakened Oracles. Decent surround. Is Blink still on cooldown?
Yeah, he just used it to get away from the Hydras, so there's going to be a few seconds here before he can blink away.
Good movement though, but he's actually blinking away from his base, and Fig is just going to go towards his base. Killing these Oracles here would be huge.
He gets both.
Gets both. It's a really nice start, and I
Zain
think this might be working.
At the wheel. A lot more Stalkers coming in though, but they're kind of split up from the main force.
This is a slow warp in as well, unfortunately. Zain needs to be a bit careful. I think he can get onto the high ground to keep these alive. But
oh, he needed to shift click them. There we go. We get up there eventually.
So Zain definitely on the back foot. He's already kind of prepared, so there's like batteries here. Yeah. But no battery overcharge anymore. Fig going to get in nice and close, and now Zain needs to wait for these Stalkers to run in from the main. These Hydras do so much damage, especially against like Stalkers with no front line, no charge lots or anything.
This hold looks okay to me. There's not that many Hydra.
Yeah, and no Lings to tank for the Hydras, so it's like similarly, they're both really squishy units against squishy units. I think this might be the beginning of the end, because Fig can't run these away, and they're not getting a good trade. I think Fig
is looking pretty comfortable. No probes going down at all so far. Trading efficiently for Zain, using Blink well, and GG's called. That was really, really clean. Looking much better from Zain in that game. Perhaps just a poor build choice from Fig, though.
I liked it for a bit, and then I didn't. Like, it kind of worked, and then
that's not a ringing endorsement, let's be honest.
It worked until it didn't, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he didn't take much damage, or maybe any damage, from the
push that Zain did.
From the push, yeah, with the Stalkers, and he held that really nicely. But then Zain was like, okay, if he comes across, I'm in trouble, so I'll just make a little bit of static defense.
He had more than enough time. I think that was the benefit, right? Zain managed to push out, which bought him the time to identify what was coming, and then build the static defense that made the defense really easy. Even though retreating across the map, he had a lot of difficulty getting back, but I think it was just him kind of balancing, you know, buying time to build the defense versus saving as many Stalkers as he could to hold. But yeah, really well played from Zain in that one. And we don't get a sweep. I'm really excited to say that. I was really worried this was going to be sweep into sweep.
We may get to 5 games, and it was
I said we're going to get at least 4.
Yeah.
And I was right.
That was a guarantee. Yep. A bollard.
A bollard guarantee. I don't lie, except all the time when we're playing Avalon.
That's true. Because you are always
I'm a perennial liar in Hidden Roles games, but not when it comes to StarCraft. And we're going to be getting into more StarCraft now on Abyssal Reef. Would you like to introduce the players?
Yes. Spawning in the bottom right, playing in the blue, or himself and Protoss.
Every time that catches you up.
We don't need any Protoss. We're good for Protoss representation.
You happy with Gerald? That's all you want?
I'm happy with Gerald. He's a good guy.
We got Optimist as well, still in the lower bracket.
And Wimmelman.
And Molten and Wimmelman is out. Wimmelman is out.
Yeah, that's true. In the bottom right of Abyssal Reef is Zain.
Oh, speaking of Molten, we have a result just in. One less Protoss in the tournament. AC has beaten him 2-1 in the lower bracket. 2-1 though. Well done to Molten taking a map.
Yeah, I mean, Molten's really scary in these spots. I know AC didn't really want to play him at all. So yeah, nice one. Good
so that means Raza will be taking on AC in that lower bracket match. Have they already played in this tournament?
No, but they play often enough that I know what that's going to look like. AC could do it. AC's been looking actually decent.
Looking spicy?
Yeah, yeah. And AC always kind of cooks something up against Raza.
That's what we like.
They stylistically they match up well into each other, but well for AC, poorly for Raza, I think.
Yeah.
It does tend to go Raza's way, but we'll see. That would be cool.
Very nice indeed. And a reminder that the loser of this match will be going down to face Optimist in that lower bracket. Which won't be covered on stream. We'll be going straight through to the upper bracket final, where the winner of this match will play Gerald.
Yeah, and then we do the consolidation lower bracket and we catch up with everyone there, right?
That's absolutely right. The lower bracket final will be to follow after Gerald versus the winner of this game.
Absolutely. This map is a little bit interesting. It's sort of similar to King's Cove, where there's this run through from the third. But in this one, the Protoss rule is to hard wall the front, and then you have to put another 2 buildings here to finish the wall on this side. But in general, no one plays aggro on this map because it's not good. You have to run up this tiny ramp, or you have to run over and around here. So yeah, I don't see a lot of aggro play. In general, I don't see a lot of aggro play coming out of FIGARO. In this game, he played standard opener instead of 15-15.
He's finally changed it up.
Yeah. But in general.
Well, we like to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And in last game, it was broke, so some fixing was required.
That's true. Yeah, interesting to see what he kind of innovates on this game. Like I said, last game it was kind of looking suboptimal, like a Hydra push, but I think that matches up badly into what Zain played. I think Yasha will have some thoughts to say like, nah, I just miscontrolled this, or I just, mistimed this or something. But yeah, we'll see.
Other than the change in moving away from the 15-15, we're seeing a fairly similar thing from both players. Stargate on the way for Zain, Adept on the map. Speed on the way for Vig. So yeah, nothing to write home about just yet.
Yeah, where is the second Adept actually? He's coming.
At base, it just spawned in. Yeah.
She's coming. They're coming.
Warped in. Do they warp in if they're not coming through on Warp Gate? They're still being summoned, right, from Aya? So
yeah, if you click on this, there's like the bar, and it will say warping. But I think all of the Protoss buildings.
And all the buildings warping as well. Like they're just teleporting them from Aya, I think.
From the mothership?
From the mothership, maybe? I don't know.
Didn't Aya die? Isn't that?
Yeah, true, actually. I'm not up to date on my Starcraft lore. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's looking pretty normal.
Too busy playing Stormgate.
Don't joke. It's looking pretty normal. There are a good number of lings out, so... Can he ever not lose the creep tumor? How does he do it? He's too late with these adepts in this game.
Alright, so we've seen a big departure. Last game they got, how many was it? 6 drones?
Yeah.
And this game, just the creep tuner. Going to be pretty happy with that. The lings this time able to sort it out.
I think Zain was thinking it was 15-15, and then the ling speed is later. And then in this game, he was going for the same timing, and the ling speed is much earlier, so he loses those. Actually, he may not be able to take this base.
The Oracle is in a good position.
Yeah, once he runs away this Oracle and all of this energy bleeds out, which will happen soon enough, Zain will need to go back and recharge it. But again, the pressure onto this base is kind of nullified by the Oracle.
How much energy does it cost to turn it on?
25.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can turn it on again now. Yeah, but he is going to recharge it. Ready?
3, 2, 1, back in the room.
So it's, like Darren Brown. But there's no adepts here, and there's no Oracle or battery, but he just doesn't. Sorry, there's no adepts or battery or I don't know, something else.
I swear that's hallucination is also. Oh no, hypnosis. That's what I was looking for. There's no hypnosis spell in Starcraft, is there? There's hallucination.
There's Neural Parasite, which is similar if you think about it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Anyway, Zain
Oracle's going to go
very defensively with the Oracles. Yeah.
Well, they're going across the map now. They're doing the opposite of defending. In fact, there's 3 of them, I think.
No, these are
adepts.
2 new adepts,
Yeah, 2 new adepts replacing the old ones, and the Lings are going to try and get in on the 3rd base while this push is happening.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing defensive with the Oracles because he lost those early adepts, and he remade the adepts, but then he sent everything across the map. So he may even lose this base. He needs to be a bit careful, make sure he's got some more warpings coming. On the other hand, he's lurking around and poking with these adepts and Oracles while he can. There are no Lings here, actually, so I think these adepts are going to get quite a lot done. I said there are no Lings, there's 2.
Yeah, but all the other Lings across the map. 2 workers have gone down already. Now the adepts are in the main, getting more workers for. It's making up for the kind of crap job that the first 2 adepts did.
Yeah, it really is. And this is the scary part of the adept play. It's 2 are really strong. So if you ever have 2 adepts, you can get a lot of damage done. And they can slip in at many different points in the game, and missing them at any single point loses you a load of workers.
Yeah.
So it's it's really tricky to play that way.
There was a creep tumor there.
Did he not get it?
Didn't quite get it that time. He went through the vision blocker just as it spawned in.
Yeah. Did he lose the adept, or is that?
There's 1 alive, 1 died, and the Lings got cleaned up by the Oracles back at Zain's 3rd base.
Yeah. In general, pretty good trade for Zain, I think, so far in this game. Fig taking a decent worker lead at this point, but obviously Zain has all of his stuff set up. Blink nearly done. Oracle's done. Decent number of worker kills. Not as early. Obviously, when you lose 6 workers at 3 minutes, that's worse than losing, I don't know, 6 at 10 minutes. But in general, losing 6 at any point in the game isn't what you want.
Nope, no, it's not ideal. But I mean, we expect Zerg to have the worker advantage. He's still, 10, 12 workers up on Zain, and not too worried. He's chilling. He's got his 4th base up, and that's being established now.
Yeah, he does need to be able to defend it, and at the moment he hasn't got enough units, I think, to defend.
Got it in the end with the revelation.
Yeah, nice one. I don't think he's got enough here to defend the Stalkers, and his Creeper's looking quite weak. So I think he's going to take quite a bit of damage.
I like the placement of that stasis ward behind the vision blocker. Really annoying for the Zerg. Not going to know that say you blindly bumble your way through, but
he knew.
FIGARO is not that.
How did he know? And he knows this one. Oh, okay, there we go.
I saw that one being placed, I think.
Yeah. So really nice from FIGARO, getting the fight prepped. In this case, he's going back into those Hydras, sending a lot of Lings across. I think mostly because these Stalkers have to take down these rocks.
Zain skip Blink this game.
He has Blink.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah. He could Blink over these rocks, and play around them a little bit maybe, but doesn't want to. So that gives Figaro just a little bit of time.
Fourth is getting pounded right now on Zain's side of the map, and does get cancelled at least.
Yeah, that's really nice. Actually, Fig sending everything across the map. So these Stalkers that I think Fig thought had gone home
surrounded.
actually aren't going home. Does a good job of dodging that ward completely by accident. There are no oracles here anymore from Zain, so these Stalkers are like actually really dead. He may need to recall here, but I think he loses them if he does. The oracles come back, but they're actually pretty out of energy at this point. This is a really good spot for Fig, and we may see the beginning of the end like right here, right now.
Yeah, the recall does come in a little bit too late. Half of the Stalkers at least have died. There's something attacking. Again, I've been tricked by the recall. There's nothing in the main, honestly, guys, believe me. But yeah, this force is going to push on through and is going to cause some real problems for Zain if he's not able to defend. Static defense rapidly being placed down at the
defense on this map is actually quite hard. Like quite easy, sorry. There's only like this route to attack in, and then the natural like defense itself, basically.
Yeah.
But it does mean that Zain isn't getting his fourth up. The only other fourth option is like this one. Yeah, this one definitely not. So like. He needs to put a base here, and he currently can't because there's a million roaches there. We'll see, though. I think Zain might not die here, but it starts to set up Fig as he goes into the lurkers behind this in a really good spot.
Storm is ready, though, and it's being rained down on the roaches and the lings. The static defense is finally finishing, but a lot of it's been picked off before it could even finish warping in.
Yeah, that was the last Storm, by the way. Fig doesn't know it, but, you know, that's it for a little bit. Only a very short while. And Recharge is nearly back off cooldown again. I think it's been like a deceptively strong spell.
Storm?
That's like politically correct code for me saying like nerf overcharge, like recharge, but
the energy recharge.
Yeah, but I won't say that, obviously.
Despite the numerous times you brought it up in
Figaro
this series
diving
alone.
onto these Stalkers. I think there's just so much like roaches here that this is like a good trade. The roaches don't scale well into this game at all.
Nope.
Even like blinking forward, okay, was that a good trade? Probably not.
Nope.
Wasting storm energy now on roaches is never what you want to do when there's like going to be a big swell of Hydra and even lurkers behind this. Zain going really quickly actually into a carrier. He did start 2 Tempest as well.
This is the second time we've seen this. No, I don't know if these are like misclick carriers, because he did this in another game. He made a carrier, it never came out, and then he made 2 Tempests instead.
Yeah. And in this game, he's actually getting them like quite a lot faster. But I think in this game, he doesn't have the eco for it at all. Like the earlier games, he had way more eco.
He's not secured this 4th base. He's only got 2 Stargates instead of 3.
Yeah.
So
like
he's
sending
struggle.
Zealots across the map, but they're getting no damage. So like, he's throwing away money that he can't even afford to throw away. This is really rough for Zain, honestly. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see if he manages to establish his 4th. It's going to become increasingly critical as the game kind of extends on. Figaro is going to do his best to probe and prod and try and deny that.
Yeah, I was looking here because there's like a Ling run by, but it's not coming in yet.
It's not going to get a lot done.
Yeah, Ling running by. I can't conjugate that probably. Ling run by Ying.
Rung. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, is not great when your opponent doesn't have a lot going on because there's not many openings. Like you can't attack up here.
Right. The carrier has finished this time, and it is building interceptors. Might as well use it if you got them.
Yeah, and the mothership is done, so he may be able to hold here, Zain. There isn't any detection, so Figaro not learning at all from game number 1, needs to run home. Actually going to lose quite a lot on the retreat here as well. 3
Overseers being desperately scurried out now.
Yeah.
Too little too late on that front.
Yeah, but I think it doesn't matter hugely, unfortunately. You know, the army from Fig is still mostly all the way there. He is getting the Spire behind it. I think he's a little bit caught off guard by how quick like the fleet beacon units are coming out.
Yeah.
And maybe that means that Zain kind of stabilizes. And he's been really careful with these high
Zain definitely cut some corners to get to this point, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that blink may be a mistake. A lot of Zerg units now descending on these Stalkers, loads of them going down. They're getting underneath the Tempest. Not going to be able to kill one just yet, though.
Yeah, mostly it's the Templar he wants to dive on, and now there are like there's no Storm left once again. I don't love this spot. A lot of these units are really weak for Figaro, and pushing into the cannons means that there's always detection here. Against the Tempest means that these lurkers are going to start to go down.
Yes, with that repath it should die. No? Oh, Tempest is so slow. What the hell?
Well, yeah, Zain also didn't like click on it.
Oh, did he not?
Yeah, they were kind of like they were going at slightly wrong angles, unfortunately. This has been a really good way for Figaro to buy time, and actually he's started to put static defense down to defend against the Zealot run-bys.
He's learned from game number 1. He's not going to let Zealot run-bys allow Zain to get back into this game.
Yeah.
Zain actually thinking he has to go across the map.
I feel like this doesn't work.
I don't like this at all.
Would love to see some Corruptors on the way for Figaro, and there they are. 8 are coming out of the gate straight away. I think Zain can't attack in here, making the yeah, doesn't force anything. I don't know. Don't love this push.
The Zealot run-bys are starting to happen. There's one going across the bottom of the map now. Not going to get a lot done, though, as we said. Those spine crawlers are going to be really handy. Oh, there's a few Zealots in the 5th trying to get something done as well.
In general, the creep spread is better this game, I think, and that's letting Fig get into position way earlier. Mostly you just want to park some lurkers, like just put 2 lurkers here and 2 lurkers here, and probably okay. He's milling around with these lings a little bit. Obviously, can't get a huge amount done because of this. There's no route here.
It looks like, though, Zain's actually established that 4th. He's got the static defense down now. It's not going to die. He kind of staked his game life, series life, on defending that base and succeeded so far. But now he's got to establish the 5th, and that's the next thing he's going to start working towards.
Did you see that lurker dodge the Tempest attack, by the way?
How?
Because it was like just barely got underground, and then it technically like he couldn't see it because he didn't have detection on it, so it didn't take any damage. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. He has detection now. Lots of revelations coming through. I think I'd like to see him build like a couple more oracles because that's like the main way you're going to lose this one is by losing all your detection. Not really sure what we're doing here. I'd like to see Vipers out of Fig as well, by the way. I think that's really strong. You can't abduct the mothership anymore, but abducting literally everything else is good for you.
Especially the Tempests.
Tempests, but even the High Templar, if you can like snag some of them.
Yoink them, yeah.
Like, you're weak to feedback, but in general. Like, otherwise, the Tempest just kind of kite back and forth.
Yeah, there's a good amount of Storm energy now. This is a small army, but Zain has a lot of utility.
Yeah, a lot of Storm, but no Archons. I'd love to see some Archons. He has a big gas bank, so like, the next warp-in round you do, just make them all into Archons. I think really
it could be huge.
There's not, again, like, any value coming out of these Zealots, so I don't know at what point we just, like, give up on making those. Really catching these Tempests out of position, so maybe 2 go down here.
Nah,
okay,
the cloak's
good
ready, though.
Save it.
Is there an overseer? There's an overseer, though. The mothership core, the mothership is gone. That's going to be a costly mistake.
Yeah, so Zain blinking under to try and save his units does, like, get quite a few of the Corruptors on the trade, but it does mean that the rest of the ground army from Figaro is way out of position compared to Zain. I don't know what the hell is going on here, honestly. Figaro being really careful to dodge these storms and snake around. Now that the Protoss army has run back into the Zerg army, he's lost everything on the ground here. I think this is enough Corruptors to clear up, but let's watch.
Yeah, the Corruptors have turned and fought. The Carrier's doing a lot of damage. It might actually be enough to win, because some good micro here on the Tempest is going to keep them alive. The Carrier is going to go down, but at what cost?
Yeah, finally going down.
2 more Carriers out.
Yeah, overall, really good for Fig. So he like punched straight through. So now we can start to see Ling run-bys like with this 1 Ling.
He killed the 5th. The 3rd is decimated. The production is completely open now. Zain is on the ropes.
Yeah, that's for sure. In general, when you're Zerg in this spot, you're like, okay, now I remax and you're going to die to the remax. So let's see if that holds true. There's not a lot of lurkers here. He lost a lot of lurkers on the back of this. The Lings on the production is really good.
Yeah, nothing to stop this. They're going to flood into the main. They're going to start killing all of the production buildings. There go the Stargates. No more air units going to be able to come from Zain if these all go down.
Yeah, we need to be careful here with these Corruptors. Getting Storms onto the Corruptors is like the easiest way to lose this because these Skytoss units are still really scary. Fig kind of stacking and then eating a Storm, but does get good poke onto this first carrier. Meanwhile, though, Zain is losing a lot in the main. Another Stargate going down.
This is starting to look like irrecoverable damage from Zain. He may hold this particular wave of attack, but what is he going to be able to rebuild with? He's lost most of the Stargates, he's lost a few gateways, he's lost a lot of bases at this point as well.
Yeah, I just don't really see a
finally making Archons, but it's too little too late, I have to say.
And it does let Figaro dive on top. Even this Archon is going to finish up, but like after all of his Skytoss has gone down and the Corruptors are straight on top of his really expensive units. I think Zain holds here. A big Storm coming through, Archons finishing up means that the Corruptors get shooed away, but like the trade was good. There's nothing here to spot the Lurkers. I think you could have left those on the ground, to be honest, and like tried to pick off this really weak Archon, but in general,
Zain holds, but it is too much damage. Figaro taking the 3-1 victory and making his way on into the upper bracket final against Gerald. What a match that's going to be as well.
Showing why he's number 2 seed.
Yeah, earning that number 2 seed, taking down Zain here, the number 3 seed in the tournament, to earn his spot in the upper final. Well, that was a really exciting series.
Yeah, excellent.
Enjoyed watching that a lot, and we're going to be throwing to a short break before we come back. Hopefully not too long with that upper bracket final. Just need to make sure Gerald is ready and give Figaro a chance to have a drink, go to the toilet, whatever he needs to do to get ready for the next match. Another coffee, yeah. His
he's going to finish drinking the
steaming cold coffee is now ready to be downed in a single mouthful.
Okay, how long are we breaking for, Pollard?
What time is it now?
It's 20 to 5.
Yeah, let's say we'll be back around 5 o'clock, hopefully with the upper bracket final. That's going to be another best of 5, and I can't wait to watch it.
I can't wait.